Say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Hevorius, and win or lose, I'm having a great time already.
Alrighty. Well, both runners ready.
Yes.
Jack, are you ready?
Okay,
Think
I
so.
thought it was like the ready when running where you're not supposed to answer. But whatever. Yeah, I'm ready.
Right on. I have a worry that the Tech. Oh, by the way, Tech the Wolf's here. How y'all doing? I'm just a bit worried that the timer may not show up right away, but rest assured, I am timing this, and it will show up hopefully within the 30 minutes it'll take you to do the run. That's all from me.
All right. Wonderful. All right. I will count you in with one final ready from both of you, and I'll give you the countdown.
I'm ready.
Leo, are you ready?
Ready.
Yep.
Voice is ready. All right. I'll count you in. On go. 3, 2, 1, and go. And all right. I'm your host, and I'm also your commentator for this race here. Let's see. And we're just getting, yeah, it looks like we're getting started here. So the first thing off the bat is going to be skipping through cutscenes. And so I think, let's see. So Hevorius is going to actually be doing a slightly different strat than, Leo. Oh, no? Yes, oh, okay, sorry. I have my feeds in the wrong order. So the shovel strat is where you pick up the shovel right off the bat, and you're going to use it to do a little trick where you can stop inside the doorway to Wally's room. We need Wally's monocle. So by stopping, what actually happens in the background is there's a timer that starts once you stop. And so the faster you can stop, the faster the timer goes, and the timer is what determines how soon Wally will drop his monocle. Because otherwise, it's a random spread anywhere between 1 to 10 or so seconds. But anyways, looks like we have Leo off to a little bit of a lead first with the monocle, but Leo has not got his shovel just yet. Although it's a pretty minor, a little bit of a tricky bit getting over the paper to the spit on the wall. But Leo's out on the map here. First one out to the map. So now that we come out to the map... Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, it's tricky. This game's got a lot of little... That'll do it. That'll do it. So they're coming out, they're getting the stick, they're getting the mud, coming back into this main area in Woodtick. Gonna head over to the hotel here. The release peg biter. Grab some cheese squigglies. So a little tiny corner you can cut is just, instead of having to close the door and then using the bucket of mud on the door, if you just use the bucket of mud on the door, garbage will just close it automatically. There's a lot of these little tricks where we get to just kind of cut out a few steps here and there. So I think we're going to see a little bit of tech on Leo's side, where you're prepping the stick, propping open the box, putting the cheese in there. And we have to capture the rat in the box. And the rat we call in the community, we have named Chester. And so in order to capture Chester, the third bit is you'll need the string. So when we come back later, we can get the rat, but we've kind of prepped the box for later.
Yeah, interestingly enough, in a previous route, because we used to use a different version of this game, we were able to make it so we had the string already. And it was actually faster for that specific version, but we are now using a different version.
Yeah, an interesting bit of history is the route is actually, for Monkey Island 2, changed versions multiple times. We, back in the day, had started in the DOS version, which has the improved visuals and improved music. However, it was discovered the Amiga version was a good improvement over the DOS version, whereas there's some animations and cutscenes that would just play faster and ended up saving a decent chunk of time by switching over to the Amiga version. But then again, recently, relatively recently, in the past year or so, less than a year, we've switched over to now the FM Towns version, which doesn't have the quality of life speed of the Amiga version, but it has one really huge skip in it that ultimately saves even more time. This is the current version we are playing, and we have to use a particular version of ScumVM to allow us to do so.
Yeah, also considering how many versions of the route and how many categories this game has, I'm always worried about messing up the route.
Yeah,
I
anytime.
mess up the route even though I only know the one route.
Well, that's a thing that happens. So Leo's going through one of the trickier dialogue sections in this game. Monkey Island speedruns notoriously have a lot of dialogues that are kind of input heavy, if you will. But good job, and you see hevorius going through it right now, just behind Leo here. But the better you get at the timings, there's no real buffering you get to make use of. So it's all just timing, and so because it's so input dense, it's very easy to quickly lose time if you get off.
Yeah, basically the problem, quote unquote, is that there are a lot of inputs that don't overlap nicely, so you cannot really press multiple things at the same time. It doesn't work.
Exactly.
Let's go catch a rat.
Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
So it looks like we're gonna watch Hevorius' stream here. I think we're gonna see a little bit of a trick here. Uh-oh. The rat tried to sneak by Hevorius there, but ends up catching him.
Also,
And
if
so what you can do to
Ah.
save a little bit of time, didn't quite get the setup there,
Nerves
but
got
what
me
you can
there.
do. Yeah, it's a really tricky spot. You don't have a lot of time to set it up. But you can, if you get the stick back in, propped up in the box, by reducing your inventory size by 1, it actually saves a little bit of time later on in the run.
Yeah,
So
it's
kind of
very
a new
difficult.
tech.
It's very, very difficult, and I opt not to go for it because I did some testing, and unless you are incredibly fast in doing everything and you buffer verbs perfectly, you don't save time. It's one
Yeah.
of those things that you really need to be perfect at it.
Yeah, surprisingly, some really difficult bits of tech for Monkey 2
I'm
to
usually
really
much
nail
better
if you
at
want a
it.
top time. What's that? Used to be better
I
at
usually
it?
get it, but I've gotten a lot better at it.
Yeah, there are some things you can do to make it easier, but still very difficult. So, Leo down, taking a long walk, down a long plank here. So we're just about wrapped up actually with the first chapter of the game, part 1, where you're kind of just doing your opening stuff on Scab Island. And so for part 2, the game kind of opens up and you can go between 3 different islands. The route has become pretty optimized. You don't have to travel between islands too much. But you have a little go to Fat Island first is the first island we're going to visit. You have to kind of escape from jail. It's a little bit of an escape room puzzle there.
This
But
is
one-
where you can save time if you don't have the stick, because for every item you have in the inventory, there is like an animation.
Yeah, that's true. You have to wait for every item to pop up in your inventory there. So there's a bit of a mini game here, a little kind of a puzzle on Fat Island. And that's where you have to find out the solution to this gambling scheme. And so there's a little guy in the door here. His name is Bruno. And if you learn how to read his kind of hand signals, he'll give you the answer to the next winning spin on the wheel. And it's actually, once you know the solution, it's actually very easy. and you can go through it pretty fast once you can learn to kind of recognize the hand signals and just let it fly by. And Guybrush got to take a trip to the local library here. Need a couple books. That's just for later, but we pick them up now. And as well, on your way out, you do pick up one other little lens out of this toy lighthouse. There's this kind of model lighthouse here. But you do have to pay attention as you learn the solution to the betting game and then go to the library. You just kind of have to keep it in your head what the solution is. It's random where it shows up in the dialogue, so you just kind of have to use your reading comprehension skills, look at the dialogue, and find your answer there.
I was able to remember the wrong number, so that's a thing.
Leo going back. If you miss it, you just have to go back. That's okay. That's he's just trying to make the run interesting. And now Hevorius might find a chance to pull ahead here. It's actually going to be close. Hopefully Hevorius doesn't forget. And there we go. Looks like we're just nearly synced up. So you'd only need to play the gambling game once. You pick up the invitation. And we're going to take that with us out to Booty Island, but we just make a quick pit stop at Booty Island, actually. We were able to route out a lot of the first trip to Booty Island and let it kind of coincide with our next trip to Booty Island. So you just stop by the store here. Just pick up a couple items. These are, most importantly, we need the saw before we go back to Scab Island for the first time. So we're going to go back to Scab Island. And another kind of a quick trip here. But this is a fun one of the you would think it's a skippable cutscene here, but actually an unskippable cutscene. They must have just been really proud of the animations here. So have a watch at this. You're gonna saw off this guy's peg leg, and just kind of casually stroll away.
Fun fact: in the special edition, there is a specific glitch for the version where it is called Stop Manip. And if I'm not mistaken, you can make it so it looks like Guybrush is cutting off the wrong leg using that glitch.
Yeah, and there we go. On our way again. And now once you return to Scab Island, now there's this monkey playing the piano. You do get in trouble. We got hired earlier on in the run with the job, but we get caught slacking off, so we get fired. But that's okay. We're trying to go fast, not trying to get a job. So you got to talk to the barkeeper here, and we need to order a couple drinks, and we need to make sure we order the right drinks, and that's a yellow drink and a blue drink. We also pick up the monkey once we're done. He's kind of gets stunned by the banana you put on the metronome, and that metronome, notoriously a small hitbox to navigate, so you always have to be careful there.
This time it was the hitbox of the monkey for some reason that didn't really work.
Yeah, some hitboxes, it's kind of a mystery how big or small they are when you speedrun these games, but that's okay. So just after that quick trip to Scab Island.
Don't forget to tell them about this fun glitch.
A quick glitch, blink and you miss it. It's called the Dread Warp.
Yeah, I was talking about the same thing.
It's a really easy glitch to do. All you do is click, when you're on Scab Island, you click on Dread's ship, and then you click on Woodtick. Guybrush will walk into Woodtick, but he ends up on the ship. And this only works in Chapter 2. It doesn't work in Chapter 1, but it saves you just a little bit of time walking. So now on Booty Island here, you go into the costume shop. You use the invitation you want from the betting game to pick up a nice costume. You go lock Stan in the coffin. We need to steal the key to the crypt. And we saw Stan in Monkey Island 1, and hopefully he survives, and we get to see him in Monkey Island 3. We'll see. The spitting contest can be a little bit iffy if you get a bad wind pattern. You actually want not the fastest pattern, because if you get the fastest pattern on the wind cycles, you won't be able to get there in time. So you want kind of a nice medium wind pattern.
Also, if you want to talk about glitches, you can talk about your favorite glitch that you do in every run, Spade, that I just did because why not, with the drink.
Oh, what's that? Oh, the drink storage.
Yep, it's pretty useless to be honest.
Yeah, it's more of a swag strat, but you're kind of, you would think you have to drink the green drink, which you combine the blue and the yellow to make the green, on the screen. But if you do it a screen early, you can actually kind of just save the state of Guybrush having the spit correctly. Well, here we are over at Elaine's, and this is where things start to kind of really differ in terms of by playing on the FM Towns version. For whatever reason, there's a glitch that doesn't quite set the flag correctly for the map piece. So normally when it flies away, it flies off to the cliff, and you have to get the fish and the fishing pole to fish it up off the cliff. But it does not end up on the cliff. It instead just goes straight to the tree. So what we're going to do now is another glitch called Floating Guybrush. We're able to kind of use the plank and the oar. And Leo going for a safety save there. I think Leo is in a kind of a glitch state here, so you have to be extra careful. And if you mess up the tree climb, you can soft lock your game. So you kind of do this glitch where you're kind of floating above the spot where the plank would be. And you kind of get the cutscene with the bone dance, but you also get up the tree at the same time. So you go up, you use the dog, pick up the map, but you also unlock the solution to the bone puzzle in LeChuck's Fortress for later.
And yes, I am in a glitch state because I, for some reason, decided to do another glitch, which is another story that maybe Spade can explain.
Yeah, kind of flew by it there, but there is a small glitch where you can kind of get Guybrush into a weird slidey state where you can slide around and a little bit during some animations. And the glitch is already over on Leo's end, but you're able to save a little bit of time by sliding during an animation instead of just waiting for the animation to complete and then continue walking. But so we have a little bit of RNG here, and that's where the sunken ship is going to be. And so it's a bit of a trick to kind of learn to read the map quickly, figure out where the sunken ship is going to be. And a quick one from Leo there.
Yeah, in my case it was mainly luck. I didn't really think about it too much. I knew it was basically on the center, but not exactly.
Oh, I think
where.
I missed mine. I think I...
Uh-oh, let's see. Yeah, if you...
on it, and then I just slid down a little quickly.
that can happen if you're not careful. The kind of the distance between each hotspot of each coordinate, they're like not all the same size. So it actually, like, some are shorter, some are taller, some are longer. You know, you just have to be really careful. And
yeah, in fact, we do have a website that we can use to practice that. And I made it, and I had to manually check every hitbox in order to do it.
yeah, it's kind of funny how the map works like that. There we go. Hevorius gets his sunken mad monkey figurehead there. And so we get the one...
Blowfish, so...
Oh, no blowfish. Unfortunate.
I got a blowfish.
Oh, you did get a blowfish. Very nice.
Yeah.
So that's once you get the turn in the monkey head, that's a second map piece. So chapter 2, it's all about going around the islands here and finding the map to the legendary treasure of Big Whoop. We're 2 map pieces down. We're going to go to Fat Island and get the third map piece before ending up on Scab Island to pick up our 4th and final map piece. But a bit of RNG coming up here in the run. We're going to get this book from Governor Fat's mansion, and that's going to... We're going to read it.
I should say something before it's too late. In chat, you have the incredible opportunity to try and guess both coffins, both mine and hevorius. Because this is a race, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Leo, do you have a favorite coffin? I know number 1's the fastest, but do you have a favorite?
I usually in other people chat, I guess I often guess Coffin 2, so I guess that's my favorite. I don't know.
Coffin 2 is my favorite.
Oh,
I don't know why. It
that's
just
great,
is.
and I got Coffin 2, so that's fantastic.
Oh, a favorite coffin for Leo. So how it works is there's 5 coffins in a crypt on Scab Island, and one of those coffins will house the ashes of Rapscallion, who has one of the map pieces. So the walking from the entrance to coffin 1 is the fastest, and if you get coffin 5, you have to walk all the way over to the right, so you spend a lot more time walking. So coffin 1 is the fastest, coffin 2 just a little bit slower than coffin 1, coffin 3 a little bit slower than that, but there's kind of a big gap between 3 and 4. And then also 4 and 5 is another couple seconds. So 1, 2, and 3 aren't bad. You got what you get?
Coffin 4.
Coffin 4. That's not ideal, but many good runs have been done in Coffin 4 and 5. It's not necessarily the end of a run ever, but you do lose a little bit of time. That's okay. So Leo, off to the drinking contest. If you actually look at Hevorius' stream real quick, there's a little bit a neat trick here. If you go into the tunnel for the first time and then quickly exit out, it opens up a shortcut on the map. And so it's much faster to walk across, go back, go in, go out to the map, and walk across on the map to get over here to the drinking contest. So Leo coming in, swapping the grog for the near grog we stole from Captain Kate Capsize earlier. A little bit of it's actually surprisingly tricky movement to really kind of cut the corners as close as possible in the drinking contest, but good work there. So let's see. It's also a tiny piece of randomness is which brick gets highlighted when you throw the telescope up onto this little statue here. And so most of them don't really save or lose much time. You still kind of have to wait as the screen scrolls over. But we kind of have some names for the bricks in the community. Brick being the one that's furthest to the right.
Yeah, it's the only one you can click in advance, basically.
I don't know any of these nicknames.
And I forget the nicknames mostly myself. I know there's they were originally named after some of our community members. So there's a Spade brick. I think there's a Leo brick. I think a Steve brick.
Yeah, I think it was Steve that at some point decided, okay, I need to name the bricks. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, it's a Steve thing. But anyways, here we are back on Scab, and there's a lot of kind of back and forth, but this is kind of our final destination for Chapter 2.
Yeah, I guess if you have anything that we couldn't say before, we can say now, because we're just gonna go back and forth a bunch of times.
Yeah, so just to really quickly touch on a couple bits of like universal tech for the game is that you can advance dialogue line by line by pressing the period key or just holding it to go through multiple lines as fast as possible. And you can hit the escape key to skip cutscenes. And actually, there's a lot of things like that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a cutscene per se, but are coded as such in the game. Things like kind of chunks out of dialogue and other little kind of animations. So you're just doing a lot of skipping over things, but also there's some other useful tech like kind of actually not using the default pathing of Guybrush, but kind of guiding him across different maps will kind of, instead of, the default, he kind of takes a more angular path, but by kind of walking Guybrush in certain ways, you can get him to take a little bit more of a straight diagonal line to locations.
Yeah, and that's pretty huge in this game in particular. In Monkey 1, you do it a couple of times, but it's very minor. In this game, every map has something like that.
Yeah, all the maps have some sort of quirk to them. And even some of the interior screens as well.
Yeah, also one weird thing that I kind of use in order to move faster is that on Fat Island and Fat Island only, if you hold a key down, you walk. It is counted as a click basically. And so what you can do is while Guybrush is walking out of a room into the map, you can hold. Why am I going here? Okay, you can hold a key and Guybrush will start walking instantly. So that's an interesting thing.
I only use that coming out of the cottage, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming
that's
off the path.
the main place where I use it. But you can use it in a couple of different other different places.
I guess I could do it coming out of the Fat Mansion. I never think about it.
Yeah, I always think about it a little bit late.
Yeah, Fat Island is weird. And that being said, though, but Leo's just about to get to the end of Chapter 2 here. So once you gather all the
How dare
maps,
he.
I know, spoilers for Hevorius, but once you turn in the map piece, all 4 map pieces to Wally, you kind of get a completed map, and so we kind of know where we need to go, but we're not quite sure how to get there. But you see this mysterious box, and so just go ahead and hop in the box, and we'll see where we end up.
Yeah. Also, I'll say it right now. Sadly, I'm not using paint strats, even though they...
Oh no, I was ready to explain the paint strats.
You can explain them. I'm just not gonna use them because I wanted to be able to see the stream in my second monitor.
Ah. So what you could do is when you read this paper here, the spit encrusted paper. Is that a thing? Wait a second. Did we get the thing?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Probably not.
I think it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Oh, we got a thing. So lots to explain here. So the solution to which panels you need to kind of push through in these bone diagrams or whatever you want to call them, it's notated on the spit encrusted paper. You don't need to kind of necessarily read every option. We kind of know just where to look to kind of just find the minimum amount of information. You don't want to spend so much time looking at the paper, but what Leo had implemented was to use a screen capture and just take a quick look earlier in the run, copy paste it onto Paint.
That arm like head.
Okay, didn't get the thing for the hevorious.
Yeah, that's what I used to do in my runs. I didn't do it now, but yeah, that's what I do in my runs usually.
Anyways, yeah, so if you get what the thing is there's one particular combination where instead of going off to the left hallway, if you go to the right and get the leftmost first column, if that makes sense, you save just a little bit of time walking. So it's kind of rare, but there's one little rarity that can save you a little bit of time. So it's always hype when that happens. But another little bit of interesting thing you probably have noticed is that there's been no music in the game. So unfortunately, we have to turn off the great soundtrack to go fast. And it's most noticeable here in the fortress where
it's not that
there's kind of a...
because this is the FM Towns version.
I suppose that's true. The FM Towns has some weird noises to it. But you save a lot of time by not having to wait for a long music cue to play out. You save about 12 or so seconds. I remember, I forget the exact timing.
I don't remember.
But
Spade, I got the thing. The Spade thing.
You got the thing. Yes, there's a very
the P-press.
Small window where you can do what's called a verb buffer, where basically you queue up an action and then hit the next verb for the next action you want to do while the first action plays out. And then while the action's playing out, you can just start to click early and kind of try to catch the second action frame one. So it's a little bit of maybe not pure buffering per se, but about as close as we get for these old runs. And so the pathway through the jungle, it's the same every time. However, we still have to go through the process of giving the crackers to the parrot to get the parrot to tell us the pathway through the jungle. Otherwise, the game will take you off kind of on the kind of dead end paths. So there's a little bit of a tech to when you get to that second screen with the parrot, where we see hevorius now, of combining the crackers, because you have to wait for the parrot, and you have to stop at some point to combine the distilled water with the cracker mix to make the final 2 crackers. So you do the 2. It's a tight window, but you walk over and get into position to give the crackers. And it's a little bit of a tech there that we found. And so now we're to the kind of the final bit of the run, and this is LeChuck.
And one interesting thing about this fight, I think, is something we did at the beginning of chapter 2, when we took one envelope which wasn't necessary.
Yeah, set up all the way back 15 minutes ago or so. That what it's going to do is that picking up that one extra item is going to place a key item to be on the same kind of 2 rows as another item. And we'll see that tech in just a minute, but we're going to get our first teleport here from Leo's end. What we're going to see Leo do is quick save and quick load, which is a powerful strat here, because otherwise LeChuck could warp you to any one of the kind of 5 outer rooms in the tunnels. And then as Leo is walking between rooms, you're going to see him quick save, and that's in case LeChuck decides to interrupt you at any point. You can just reload instead of having LeChuck warp you to some other location. So you can kind of just keep to your path, and there's a good example there. LeChuck showed up, but Leo, with just a quick reload, able to kind of right his path there and kind of keep on the normal route you would like to take here. So we're going to watch hevorius and see where he ends up in a second. But here's the tech. So you're going to pick up the underwear.
I feel the pressure.
Let's see. Now. Yeah. So use the underwear in the voodoo bag, in the juju bag, excuse me. And that makes sure that the hanky is on kind of the same 2 rows as the juju bag, so you don't have to do an extra scroll in there. Because if you're not tight with your timing, LeChuck can get in there and warp you away before you go ahead and get a chance to give him the hanky, which is always a nightmare if you've played this game casually, trying to give the hanky to LeChuck. Oftentimes the game can just decide, no, I'm not going to let you give him the hanky. But by doing it there in the room where you kind of grab his underwear, makes it nice. So cool little trick here as well. You go up the elevator and back down, and by leaving the beard kind of on the floor means the voodoo doll of LeChuck is not yet completed. So what that means is that LeChuck can still show up to kind of antagonize you, but if you assemble the voodoo doll right there in front of him and then stab it, you're not intended to be able to stab LeChuck while in the elevator, so his animation bugs out there and it kind of looks funny, disappears for a second. But then you're able to just hop on over to the next room and get into your final bit of dialogue with LeChuck. So go ahead, we're getting ready on time for Leo. We'll stop the timer once hevorius is done. I think it already went by there. So hevorius, let's see. Oh, what happened?
Yeah,
we're reloading.
Luckily, the stream I'm watching is slightly delayed, so it was at 32:48, I think.
32:48, not bad.
Yeah, for a marathon, I'll take it any day.
We should see on hevorius' stream. Now this is the elevator section. You see the beard on the floor there. So ideally you're going to walk over and prep your verb of use beard bits with the bag. Wait till LeChuck shows up. And it can be a bit
Don't hit
random.
dot skip.
Don't hit dot skip. Exactly. If you skip past the dialogue too fast, you lose your window to use the syringe with the doll. But there he goes. He kind of disappears, walks in, turns around. So once you go into the next room. So I'll leave it to you, hevorius, to give us final time. Once we get through this dialogue here.
You want me to say time?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you ended the run, not randomly. Because
No worries, no worries.
If the thing was say time
We're-
and
we're-
say time, it doesn't
We're
work.
close. I just ripped off the mask. There we
And
go.
there you have it. Looked
Did
like a, not exactly sure. 34-18, I think. So yeah. Actually, it was a
I don't like
surprisingly
that.
close race.
I
Voice was just trailing behind Leo the whole time. GG's to our runners here. And so my commentating and hosting block is going to be over for now, but I'll be back soon with a little Curse of Monkey
just want
Island.
to say, I just want to say thank you to you, Frozen Spade, for commentating. That was great.
Also, in theory, you're
thank you.
coming.
And thank you, Leo.
Thank you too. Also, Spade, your commentating is gonna continue because I guess you're gonna commentate your own run.
That's true. Yes, I am. All right, so I think we're gonna cut to another little short challenge video. So hang tight while we get the next run up and going.